So today I'll be trying out a new foundation from the drugstore. This is the Maybelline Dream Urban Cover Foundation. And on Maybelline's website, it says the Dream Urban Cover is a full coverage protective makeup. This lightweight foundation has a broad spectrum SPF 50 and is enriched with antioxidants. I will get this. Antioxidants to protect against pollution. It says it leaves a natural looking finish but protects skin day after day, available in 16 shades and dermatologist tested. It also has a very weird precaution: flammable until dry, do not use near fire, flame, nor heat. Most likely there is alcohol in this, which is why that's on the warning label, but it makes me slightly terrified to try it. So as I said earlier, this foundation is available in 16 shades, which isn't great, but hopefully they will release more shades eventually. So I picked up the shade 112 Ivory, which is the third to lightest shade available. It looks a little dark for me, but the next shade up, 110 Porcelain I think it was, it just looked way too light for me. So we'll try and make this one work. They give you 1 fluid ounce of product, and I picked this up for $12.99. So let's take a look at the Dream Urban Cover Foundation compared to some other foundations in my collection. So first up is the Maybelline Dream Urban Cover in the shade 112 Natural Ivory. Next we have the Maybelline Superstay Foundation in the shade 110 Porcelain. I don't really care for this foundation very much. I found it too drying on my skin, but this is probably my closest shade match. After that we have the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear Foundation in the shade 420 True Beige. This is the CoverGirl Outlast Active Foundation in the shade 810 Classic Ivory. After that, we have the number 7 Airbrush Away Foundation in the shade Calico. This is the Rimmel Lasting Finish Foundation in the shade 100 Ivory. And last, we have the Marcel Flawless Luminous Foundation in the shade Buff Beige. So if you're enjoying this video while watching it, please give it a thumbs up. It does help me out with the YouTube algorithm. If you want to know more about the Dream Urban Cover Foundation and how it wears throughout the day, don't go anywhere, just keep watching. New year, new beginning. I'm still trying to get back into a steady filming routine. Gotta pep up a bit. So I'm working with the shade 112 Natural Ivory. I don't know, in the store it looked to be the closest match, but now up close I think it might be a tad bit too dark for me. However, the next shade down, 110 Porcelain, was way too light for me. So it is what it is. We're going to try and make it work the best we can. So this has an SPF of 50 in it, but I never rely on just foundation for my sun protection. I'm just a little weird about sunscreen. I never leave the house without sun protection on, especially now that I'm in my 40s. So I've already washed and moisturized my face, and I made sure I went in with my Neutrogena Hydraboost. This has an SPF of 15 in it. It's not super intense with the SPF, but I won't be going out much today, so it's good enough. This also has hyaluronic acid in it, which will help keep my skin moisturized, and I need all the help I can get in that department because this time of year my skin tends to be more on the drier side. Looking at the ingredients list, it's a water silicone base, so it starts off okay, and then the fourth ingredient in is denatured alcohol. So I'm not too terribly thrilled about that. Denatured alcohol is not a great ingredient for the skin, especially if it's in the top portion of the ingredients. There are also a few skincare ingredients. There's niacinamide and there's caffeine. But right now I'm kind of focused on that denatured alcohol. I'm not too concerned about denatured alcohol when it's closer to the bottom of the ingredients list because there's not very much of it, but in this case it's the fourth ingredient in. And for whatever reason, they felt the need to add fragrance to a foundation. I don't know why they keep doing this. It's not necessary. Give this a good shake first, and it sounds very liquidy. So this is the packaging. It comes in this basic squeezy tube bottle. At first glance, this looks dark. Well, it's not horrible. It's just very much on the peachy side. I'm gonna most likely have to bring it down my neck a bit. It smells like fabric softener. I wish that makeup companies would stop scenting foundations. So to start off with, I'm going to use my Real Technique sponge on the left side of my face. At first glance with the sponge, this is definitely not full coverage. I didn't go too heavy-handed with it, but I mean, I can still see, like, I have a freckle there that's sticking out and another one there that's very obvious. I didn't have any issues blending it out, but I'd say first pass, the coverage looks pretty light. All right, so we're gonna try the brush on the other side. Definitely better coverage with the brush. And I didn't need nearly as much product. In fact, I might have used a little bit too much, so the dumpsters are getting emptied. Sorry, folks. Whoa. Okay, I thought at first that this was too dark, but now I'm looking like Uncle Fester. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go in with the bronzer. Unless this oxidizes. If it oxidizes, I should be okay. I'm normally not a brush person. I normally prefer how my foundation looks with a sponge, but this actually blends out pretty easy with the brush. I just want to touch up my forehead and this area over here. I have a little bit of hyperpigmentation I would like to cover up a bit, so I'm just gonna lightly finish this off with the sponge. See if we can build this up a bit. All right, those areas, Garbage Man is still doing his thing. So with that second layer and those areas that I touched up, I think everything looks really nice. It feels very light on the skin. It doesn't really feel like I'm wearing foundation at all. I have a feeling this one's going to be frustrating for me. So far, I like how everything is looking, but I don't like large amounts of denatured alcohol in my foundation or my skincare. So that's unfortunate, because when I get up close, everything looks beautiful so far. I don't see anything settling into fine lines. I don't see anything caking or clinging. This is definitely not a full coverage foundation though. It did blur the hyperpigmentation out a bit, but it's definitely not covering it up completely. So definitely not full coverage, but I don't want to apply any more product to my face because I have a feeling that this is going to dry out my skin. It just, right now everything is looking nice and skin-like, and I'm afraid any more product will make it look cakey and dry. I'm not going to apply any powder. I never really powder my face anyway because, like I said earlier, my skin is more on the dry side, except I think I'm going to apply a tiny little bit of powder to my cheeks just to make it easier to blend out my blush and bronzer. So time is 10:45. I'm going to go put on the rest of my makeup and I will see you in a bit. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know if I'm coming down with a cold or if I'm allergic to something in this foundation. This eye is like watering like crazy, and it has been for the last half hour. And also my nose won't stop dripping. So I don't know. It could be that I'm just coming down with something. So I went really light-handed with the eye makeup because the last thing I want is like to be dabbing my eye throughout the day to prevent like eye makeup dripping down my face. So I didn't have any issues blending out my other powder products over top of this. As it turned out, I didn't have to powder my cheeks because it's completely mattified, and I thought adding powder might be a bad combination with my dry skin. Up close, everything surprisingly still looks okay. I'm still a little concerned about this dehydrating my skin because I have dry skin issues, but at this point, everything looks really nice. It looks and feels very lightweight on the skin. It's not like accentuating any creasing or any texture. So on my eyes, I'm wearing the Morphe 35O palette, which is massive. Just wearing that shade and that shade in the crease, and I just dabbed a little bit of this light champagne color on my lid. I'm also filming a review today for the Maybelline Superstay full coverage concealer if you'd like to check out that review. I'm not sure which I'll be posting first. I'll most likely be posting the foundation review followed by the concealer, but I'll include the link to that video up there once I post it. For mascara, I'm wearing the CoverGirl Exhibitionist. It's okay. I mean, it does a nice job with extending my lashes. It's just the brush is massive. I mean, it's pretty huge. Not exactly my favorite style of brush, but it does a decent job. For blush and bronzer, I'm wearing the Physician Formula Butter Blush and Butter Bronzer. And for lips, I'm wearing the Physician Formula Butter Lip Cream in the shade Pinkini. So I will check in with you in 5 hours and let you know how this foundation has been holding up. So our time is 4:17. Looking at this one up close, color-wise, everything still looks okay. I don't see any crazy oxidization happening or anything. Unfortunately, though, I'm seeing some insane dryness happening around my mouth area. And when I smile, the skin around like my eyes just, it doesn't look happy. Yeah, it's definitely not happy skin. It's just screaming for some hydration. It's unfortunate because everything else about this foundation looks really nice. I mean, there's no caking happening. It looks very much like skin with the exception of when I smile. Then, ooh, that's not attractive. Ooh, that area around my mouth. So at this point, we're just looking very, very dry and dehydrated. So that is it for this check-in. Hopefully this doesn't get any worse, and I will see you later on tonight. So the time is 9 o'clock, and I'm done. I'm ready to wash my face. I don't know, I had this feeling from the beginning it just wasn't a good fit for my skin type. It's tight and it's dry and it's just really uncomfortable to wear. And at the 5-hour mark, I was already starting to feel the tightness and the dryness, and I was hoping it wouldn't get any worse. A few moments ago, I caught myself in the bathroom mirror and the results were not pretty. I look really makeup-y and gunky. From a comfortable distance, it really doesn't look that bad. I'm looking at myself in the viewfinder and it looks okay, but up close, it just looks really makeup-y and it's starting to fall apart. My cheeks feel really dry and uncomfortable, and I can kind of feel my skin pulling. I just really want to wash my face and get this off. So I'll just zoom you in and show you this. So my forehead, weirdly enough, looks shiny, which I can't figure that one out because it feels ridiculously dry. Most of the product has worn away completely. I don't really see much left, with the exception of the little bit that has settled into the crease going across my forehead. My nose has worn away completely and is super shiny also, which is weird in itself. For my skin being so dry, I just look ridiculously shiny and I can't figure that one out. My cheeks, oh boy. Okay, I don't know if it shows on camera, but when I smile, I don't know if you can see my skin pulling through here. It's happening on this side too. It's really tight and uncomfortable. Same with around my eye area. Everything is tight and is pulling, and it doesn't look good and it doesn't feel very good. When I saw the large amount of denatured alcohol in this, I had a sinking feeling this would be wrong for my skin type, and I hoped I was wrong. Unfortunately, I was right from the beginning. It's just not a good fit for dry skin. Plus, the shade range for this foundation really isn't that great. There's only 16 shades to work with, and this foundation claims to be full coverage when it isn't even close to full coverage. So I would save your money and skip this one, especially if your skin is more on the dry side. If you have combo oily skin, it might work out okay, but it is insanely dehydrating. If you have dry skin, I would avoid this one. So if you tried this foundation out and you liked it or hated it, let me know in the comments below. If you enjoy foundation reviews and you'd like to see more of them, give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!